Good evening. Welcome to South Asia Newsline. I'm Yeshi Chonsom. Here are the top stories we are tracking for you on Monday, the 31st of August. India thwarts new Chinese attempt to change status quo in Ladakh's Pangong Lake. Baloch, Sindhis and Pashtuns protest against enforced disappearances by Pakistan. And people in southern India celebrate Harvest Festival amid coronavirus pandemic. And now for all the details. Preparations were underway at examination centres across India on Monday to ensure COVID-19 protocols a day ahead of an entrance test for admission to top engineering colleges in the country. The government has declined to defer engineering and medical entrance exams to be held in September despite protest and concerns for fear of rising COVID-19 infections.
Preparations were underway at examination centres across India on Monday to ensure COVID-19 protocols, a day ahead of the Joint Entrance Examination or JEE, conducted for admission to top engineering colleges in the country. More than 2.4 million students are set to take entrance tests this month for admission to engineering and medical schools, which the government has declined to defer, despite concerns for fear of rising COVID-19 infections as well as amid virus-linked curbs on transport and lockdowns in some places. Usually held in April and May, the exams have already been postponed twice this year, and the government has said further delays risk costing students the academic year.
तैयारियां तो अभी ठीक दिखाई दे रहा है, लेकिन असल में क्या है कि इम्प्लीमेंटेशन पार्ट क्या होता है, एक्चुअली काल क्या होगा, कैसे होगा, क्योंकि काल तो बहुत सारे भीड़ रहेगा, तो भीड़ में कैसे एक्चुअली ये लोग कंट्रोल कर पाएंगे कि नहीं, क्योंकि एक साथ 1000-2000 स्टूडेंट्स इधर एंट्री करेंगे और वो लोग का गार्डियन भी इधर रहेंगे.
Meanwhile, hundreds of students and opposition parties continue demonstrations in major Indian cities against the government's plan to hold the exams, as the daily tally of infections have hit a record. India reported 78,512 novel coronavirus infections on Monday, more than any other country, but fewer than the previous day when it posted the world's biggest single-day tally. Hoping to avert serious economic damage, the government is relaxing restrictions and has announced that urban metro trains can also resume services from September 7.
The Indian Army has yet again thwarted an attempt of the Chinese troops to carry out provocative military movements to change the status quo in the southern bank of Pangong Tso Lake in India's northern Ladakh region between August 29 and 30. China's foreign ministry, however, on Monday said its troops never crossed the line of actual control at Indian border after fresh flare-up. The Indian Army has thwarted an attempt by the Chinese Army to transgress into Indian areas near the southern bank of Pangong Tso Lake in northern Ladakh territory overnight between August 29 and 30, and talks are being held now to resolve the issue. The Indian Army in a statement said, on the night of August 29-30, PLA troops violated the previous consensus arrived at during military and diplomatic engagements during the ongoing standoff in eastern Ladakh and carried out provocative military movements to change the status quo. It said that the Indian Army is committed to maintaining peace and tranquility through dialogue, but is also equally determined to protect its territorial integrity. Some defense experts have hailed the preemptive action by the Indian Army.
But the good part of this news is that Indian Army soldiers have resisted the Chinese in altering the status quo. It speaks of the confidence and preparation of our troops in this complete eastern Ladakh region.
Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesperson Zhao Lijian in a regular news briefing in Beijing on Monday, however, said that Chinese border troops never crossed the line of actual control. He said both sides are in communication regarding the situation on the ground. India and China are engaged in a standoff since April-May over the transgressions by the Indian Army in multiple areas of the northern region, including Finger Area, Galwan Valley, Hot Springs and Kongrung Nala. The talks between the two sides have been going on for the last 3 months, including 5 lieutenant general level talks, but have failed to yield any results so far. Moving on, activists and members of Baloch, Sindhi and Pashtun communities held demonstrations against Pakistan across the globe to mark the International Day of Victims of Forced Disappearances on Sunday. They demanded the UN and the international community to press Pakistan to stop human rights violations against ethnic minorities.
Baloch, Sindhi and Pashtuns staged protests on Sunday across the globe to mark the International Day of Victims of Forced Disappearances, demanding the UN and the international community to press Pakistan to end enforced disappearances and extrajudicial killings. The protesters in Canada's Toronto City highlighted the rising cases of human rights violations by Pakistani security forces in Sindh, Balochistan and federally administered tribal areas. They blamed China is equally responsible for killings and internal displacement of innocent civilians who raised their voice against the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor project in Balochistan and other areas.
जबरी तौर पर लापता होना कोई नई चीज़ नहीं है और कोई मामूली सा एक लफ्ज़ नहीं है। ये हमारी ज़िंदगियों को मुतासिर कर चुकी है, हमारे नस्लों को मुतासिर कर चुकी है और हमारे आने वाले नस्लों को भी इसी तरह मुतासिर करती रहेगी जब तक कि ये टेररिस्ट स्टेट पाकिस्तान एग्जिस्ट करती है दुनिया के नक्शे पर।
Sindhi and Baloch activists also staged a demonstration outside the 10 Downing Street and the Parliament of United Kingdom in London to highlight the situation. Activists accuse that Pakistan Army has been carrying so-called military operations in Sindh and Balochistan for years with the aim to eliminate the indigenous people and ethnic minorities. Thousands have been internally displaced because of armed conflicts and army operations over the years.
In news from Afghanistan, Afghan President Ashraf Ghani on Sunday said that peace does not mean a power-sharing political deal, but instead the fulfillment of the will of the Afghan people, which is to end the violence and bloodshed in the war-torn country. He made the remarks in a ceremony on Sunday in Kabul to commemorate Ashura, or the 10th day of Muharram, which is observed in memory of martyrdom of Prophet Muhammad's grandson Imam Hussein. His comments came after Abdullah, chairman of the Afghan High Council for National Reconciliation, said that the much-awaited intra-Afghan talks between the Kabul government and the Taliban will begin next week. Ghani had earlier on Saturday revealed the names of the appointed members and leaders of the country's High Council for National Reconciliation, a body tasked with the leading peace negotiations with the Taliban. The new member list has been met with mixed reactions by major political parties and politicians. Moving on to news from Nepal. Nepal continues to struggle with increasing COVID-19 cases and lowered recovery rate. On Sunday alone, Nepal recorded a single-day rise of 1,221 cases with 14 more fatalities, taking toll of infected to more than 38,560, while recoveries stand at 20,822.
Recovery rate of COVID-19 infected patients in Nepal stood at around 56% in an early fortnight of August, while towards the end of the month, it has dipped down to 54, increasing worries and panic for the government. On Sunday alone, Nepal reported a single-day rise of 1,221 cases with 14 more fatalities, taking the toll of infected to 38,561, while the number of recovered ones stand at 20,822. The country's capital Kathmandu on Sunday only recorded 372 new coronavirus cases, while adjoining districts Bhaktapur and Lalitpur recorded 45 and 12 cases simultaneously.
आजभोलि दिन प्रतिदिन कोरोना संक्रमितको संख्या बढिरहेको छ र हामी सीमित स्रोत र साधन लिएर
Meanwhile, with the rise in COVID-19 cases, doctors along with other medical workers are also getting the virus while treating the patients whose coronavirus test was not done before being admitted or brought to hospitals. As the health professionals are decreasing with increased rate of infection among them, it is also leading to scarcity of doctors on duty. In the month of January, Nepal was the first nation in South Asia to confirm the infection in a China returnee Nepali citizen.
Moving on to news from Sri Lanka. A vendors market kicked open recently in Sri Lankan capital Colombo, focusing on sustainable and community-driven businesses. Due to the COVID-19 pandemic, several businesses were hit, and this initiative is now providing them opportunity to communicate directly with the customers and promote micro-entrepreneurship.
A vendors market promoting micro-entrepreneurship kicked off in Sri Lanka's capital Colombo last Friday, featuring vendors around Sri Lanka showcasing export quality products as wholesale rates. Titled Ceylon Artisan Network or CAN Market, this vendors market has been organized by creating ISIL and Colombo City Centre. Organizers said that the CAN Market will provide the vendors the opportunity to perform new trade partnerships with bulk buyers. It will now continue to be held every Fridays, Saturdays and Sundays, the organizers said. Focusing on sustainable and community-driven businesses, the market showcases products of home and lifestyle, fashion accessories, artisan food products. The market further supports and features recycle and upcycle initiatives and products. Due to COVID-19 pandemic, businesses of several artists and vendors have been severely hammered, and this market is now providing them opportunity to communicate directly with consumers.
People in India's southern Kerala state celebrated the annual harvest festival of Onam on Monday. Onam is observed with numerous festivities. However, this year's celebrations were limited due to coronavirus restrictions. People in India's southern Kerala state on Monday celebrated the harvest festival of Onam with fervour and gaiety. People thronged temples in parts of Kerala, wearing new clothes on the occasion. The festival of Onam traditionally celebrates the homecoming of mythical King Mahabali, who is believed to come from the netherworld to check on his citizens. Every year, those who celebrate the harvest festival bathe, offer prayers, participate in fun activities like dances, beating drums and swinging competitions on the occasion. However, due to COVID-19 outbreak, the celebrations were limited by many restrictions.
Today this is, it's called Mahabali Erunallipa. That means the king itself, that means the god Vishnu going and bringing Vamana to the temple. That's a Sankalpa which is Kerala's believing, that is the Onam. And the current prevailing situations because of Corona, we are not able to do the Onam Sadhya this time. But definitely grace of God, Vishnu, next year definitely we'll do that.
One of the major highlights of the festival is the traditional grand feast called Onam Sadhya that consists of a variety of local dishes such as rice, sambar and rasam. Sadhya made specially on Onam is served on banana leaves on the occasion.
After visiting, paying our respects, we'll be going back home and having a small sadhya with our family. Nothing very special because things are very bad around, but still following the tradition, whatever limitations we have, we're having a happy Onam.
The annual celebrations, which began on the first day of the traditional Malayalam calendar this year on August 22nd, will continue till September 2nd. Well, that's all we have for you from South Asia this evening. Now our viewers can watch the show on SouthAsiaNewsline.com. You can also visit us on Facebook.com/AsAsiaNewsline and follow us on Twitter @AsAsiaNewsline. That's all in tonight's edition. We'll see you same time tomorrow. Good night.